Have you ever wondered how one man could redefine the tech industry and change the world forever? Imagine a world without smartphones, without intuitive touchscreens, without the seamless blend of artistry and engineering that we now take for granted. That was our world before Steve Jobs. As a co-founder of Apple Inc., Jobs didn't just make technology, he revolutionized it. He saw a digital future where others saw only microchips and circuits. He envisioned a world where technology was not just a tool, but an extension of ourselves, intuitive, user-friendly, and beautifully designed. He saw the future, and he brought it to us piece by piece, with each groundbreaking product launch. Steve Jobs wasn't just ahead of his time, he was the architect of the time we live in now. His vision, his relentless pursuit of perfection, his unwavering belief in the impossible made our digital world a reality. Steve Jobs, a man who dared to dream big and transform his dreams into reality. Born in 1955, Steve Jobs was a child of the counterculture era, but how did his early years shape his future? Steve Jobs was born in San Francisco to Joanne Schiebel and Abdul Fattah Jandali, two University of Wisconsin graduate students. Unable to care for him, his biological parents made the tough decision to put him up for adoption. Steve was adopted by Paul and Clara Jobs of Mountain View, California, who raised him with care and nourishment, providing the foundation for his future endeavors. The young Jobs grew up in a neighborhood that was the hub of the burgeoning tech industry. This was where his interest in electronics sparked. His father, a mechanic, introduced him to the world of nuts and bolts, and his mother, an accountant, nurtured his curious mind. As he grew older, Steve's thirst for knowledge remained unquenchable. He enrolled at Reed College, an expensive liberal arts college in Oregon, but dropped out after just 6 months. Yet he didn't completely disconnect himself from the college sphere. For about a year and a half, he audited classes that intrigued him, including a calligraphy course that would later influence the typography in Apple computers. In 1974, Jobs took a break from his life in America and embarked on a journey to India in search of spiritual enlightenment. This trip had a profound impact on him. He returned with a shaved head, traditional Indian clothing, and a new perspective on life and technology that would underpin his future innovations. It's crucial to understand that Steve Jobs was not just a tech visionary. He was a complex individual with a diverse range of experiences that spanned across continents and cultures. From his early upbringing in the heart of Silicon Valley to his spiritual journey in India, each chapter of his life added a new dimension to his personality. These experiences, as diverse as they were, shaped the Steve Jobs we know today. In 1976, in a garage in Los Altos, California, a revolution was born. This was the birthplace of Apple Inc., a company that would go on to reshape the landscape of the personal computer industry. The humble garage, a symbol of the quintessential American dream, was where Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, two friends with a shared vision, began their journey of innovation. Their first creation, the Apple I, was a rudimentary machine by today's standards. But back in the late 70s, it was a beacon of what was possible. Jobs and Wozniak sold their personal belongings, including Jobs' Volkswagen van and Wozniak's scientific calculator, to finance the development of their brainchild, the Apple. I was more than just a product. It was a manifestation of their belief in accessible technology for all. But the duo didn't stop there. They continued to push the boundaries of what was possible, and in 1977, they introduced the Apple II. This machine, with its graphical user interface and color display, was far ahead of its time. It wasn't just a computer, it was a revelation. The Apple II captured the imagination of a generation and propelled the personal computer industry into an era of unprecedented growth and innovation. Steve Jobs, the charismatic co-founder of Apple, was the driving force behind the company's vision. He didn't just want to build computers, he wanted to change the world. His vision for Apple was to create products that were at the intersection of art and technology. He saw the potential of what technology could be and relentlessly pursued that vision, pushing his team to go beyond the ordinary, to create something truly extraordinary. The birth of Apple marked a pivotal moment in the history of technology. It was the dawn of a new era, an era where technology wasn't just for the few, but for everyone. The Apple I and Apple II were not just products. They were the embodiment of a vision of a future where technology was an integral part of our daily lives. Apple wasn't just a company, it was a vision of the future, a vision that Jobs relentlessly pursued. Jobs' journey wasn't always smooth. He faced setbacks, but they only fueled his drive to innovate. This becomes evident when we turn the pages back to 1985, a year that marked a significant shift in his career. After a power struggle at Apple, Jobs found himself distanced from the very company he co-founded. But did this deter him? Far from it. Instead, he took this as an opportunity to start afresh. Jobs went on to create Next Inc., a computer and software company that was way ahead of its time. Next was not just about building computers, it was about redefining computing. It was here that Jobs honed his skills in creating products that were not only technologically superior, but also aesthetically pleasing. In the meantime, he saw potential in a small animation company that was on the brink of bankruptcy. Jobs purchased it in 1986 and renamed it Pixar Animation Studios. It was a risky move. Animation was a completely different ballgame, and Pixar was a struggling company. But Jobs' vision and leadership turned it into one of the most successful animation studios in the world, producing hits like Toy Story, Finding Nemo, and The Incredibles. These ventures, Next and Pixar, were instrumental in shaping Jobs into a more mature, more insightful leader. They taught him invaluable lessons about managing people and developing products. He learned to trust his instincts and to fight for his ideas, no matter how unconventional they might seem. Through these wilderness years, Jobs also understood the importance of a strong team. He realized that a company's success is not just about having a great product, but also about having a team that believes in it and is willing to go the extra mile to make it a reality. So, was Jobs' departure from Apple a setback? Perhaps, but it was also an opportunity, a chance for him to grow and to refine his vision. These years away from Apple were not a failure, but a crucial period of growth for Jobs. In 1997, Jobs returned to Apple, marking the beginning of an era of unprecedented innovation. With his return came a wave of groundbreaking products that would change the way we interact with technology and with each other. The iPod transformed the music industry, putting 1,000 songs in our pockets and making music accessible anytime, anywhere. Just when we thought Apple had peaked, Jobs introduced the iPhone in 2007. And with it, he changed the world. This wasn't just a phone. It was a device that integrated music, internet, and communication into one sleek, handheld device. It was an extension of our lives, a device that knew us, that understood our needs before we even realized them. Then came the iPad in 2010. Jobs had done it again. He redefined what a tablet could be, making it a hub for creativity, productivity, and entertainment. The iPad was more than a device. It was a canvas, a stage, a library, a window to the world. Under Jobs' leadership, Apple soared to become one of the most valuable companies in the world. But his influence extended beyond Apple's campus. Jobs' relentless focus on innovation, design, and simplicity has left an indelible mark on the tech industry and beyond. His vision and leadership have inspired a generation of entrepreneurs and innovators, pushing them to think differently, to challenge the status quo, to believe that they can change the world. Jobs once said, "Innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower." And he was a leader, a visionary who refused to settle for the ordinary, who always pushed the boundaries of what was possible. He didn't just create products, he created experiences that have enriched our lives and transformed the way we see the world. Steve Jobs didn't just leave a company behind, he left a legacy that continues to inspire and influence. His impact continues to be felt in every corner of the tech industry, in every product that strives for excellence, in every innovator who dares to think differently. Jobs' legacy is not just in what he built, but in what he inspired others to build. Steve Jobs once said, "Innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower." And indeed, his life and work continue to be a beacon of inspiration for entrepreneurs and innovators around the globe. Jobs' philosophy, his relentless pursuit of perfection, his ability to envision the future, and his passion for creating products that people love. All these have left an indelible mark on the tech industry. His insistence on blending technology with liberal arts, his belief in the power of simplicity, and his courage to follow his heart and intuition have all become guiding principles for many. Jobs' legacy is not just about creating revolutionary products, but also about inspiring a generation to think differently, to challenge the status quo, and to strive for excellence. Jobs' life and work serve as a reminder that great things never come from comfort zones. As Jobs himself said, "The people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do."